It is no sign of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. It is no sign of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. So let's talk a little bit about revolution. These are a couple words on revolution. There's actually four types of revolution. You got electoral revolution, you got a constitutional revolution, you got a George Washington revolution, and then you got a soft Howard Zinn Black Panther revolution. An electoral revolution is elections. My definition of revolution is massive sweeping change, and that change is good. Constitutional revolution is you rewrite the rules to the game. So electoral revolution is you kick out the leadership to the game, put in brand new leadership, massive changes. That changes are good. Constitutional revolution is you change the rules of society. Change the rules of society, massive changes, and that change is good. George Washington Revolution, well, that's an American revolution. You know all about that. And then the Howard Zinn Black Panther Revolution, which I'll say is a soft revolution, but it's basically building parallel structures outside of the system. Have your breakfast program. Go ahead and feed your own community. So that's just a little bit about the four kinds of revolutions that I see. When it comes to electoral revolutions, theoretically, FDR says that elections are revolutions. And so every 4 years or 8 years, we have an electoral revolution. Now, neoliberalism is out. You got a whole bunch of neoliberal fucking punks out here. And what does a neoliberal believe in? Well, the neoliberals will just say started during the 90s under Bill Clinton onwards. It's these warmongering Democrats who are against the Bill of Rights. They're for kicking people off of welfare, they're for crime bills, and they're for shredding the Bill of Rights, and they're for war. And frankly, we're sick of this shit. We're sick of the Obama-Clinton bullshit of doing Ronald Reagan policies of endless wars, no protection to the poor and working masses, attacking and shredding the Bill of Rights, mass deportation and mass incarceration, and leaving the homeless out on the streets to starve and freeze to death. Neoliberalism is out. The era of neoliberalism is over. I'm sick of these neoliberal fucking punks. I'm sick of these neoliberal fucking punks. Now, of course, we have a right to revolution. Our country was born in revolution. What specifically is a revolution? A revolution is a nation's right to self-defense. Just like the individual person has a right to self-defense, the nation has a right to defend itself. So a lot of these neoliberal punks want to take away the Second Amendment. The big problem with being against the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and the preamble and the 27 amendments, by being against the Second Amendment, you're against the Third Amendment, the Fourth, the Fifth. There's like 60 freedoms that you're against. So we have a right to revolution that's just in nature. It's a lot of right to revolution is actually embedded in a lot of the state constitutions. But a nation has a right to self-defense. So when the nation is being oppressed, then the nation has a right to revolution. Now you got what, 330 million Americans? So if you have like 170 million Americans, say the number of Americans on TikTok, if they all march on DC, which the logistics of that is about damn nearly impossible. But if you get 170 million Americans who peacefully march on Washington, D.C., say to build homes for the homeless, and if they don't get that, then they would have a right to defend themselves. If the U.S. government did not fight against a foreign invasion, so say China, Russia, North Korea, let's say Canada invaded us. If any foreign nation, Israel, let's say Israel invaded us, and the U.S. government said, we're not going to repel the foreign invasion. That's probably the dumbest thing that the government could do, but that was King Louis XVI's mistake. He got the mercenaries. He got some troops out of Austria, which is treason. You got a bunch of foreign troops to oppress your own people. Now, if you stay in office past January 20th, 2029, you're breaking the Constitution, you're breaking the Bill of Rights, you're breaking the 22nd Amendment. Revolution would be justified for that reason as well. Now, I've read, it was Colorado. Colorado has a right to revolution, but then they add a caveat. They say that you got a right to revolution just so long it is not repugnant to the Constitution. So just thinking about it, well, what does the Constitution actually protect and defend? Well, it protects and defends a number of things. You defend elections. The Constitution protects itself. The Constitution, then you got the Bill of Rights. And really you got, the preamble and all the amendments. So you got elections, Constitution. There's like 8 things. There's the 3 branches of government. Let's see here. You got federalism. You got bicameralism. So if the powers that be, if the government wants to take away federalism, bicameralism, elections, Constitution, Bill of Rights, the 3 branches of government, the rule of law. And then there's something else that I am not remembering right now, but let's actually pull this up and let's get the answer that we are looking for. If, well, this is taking a minute here. Elections, federalism, bicameralism, Bill of Rights, constitutionalism, the rule of law, and enumerated powers. The Article 2 does not guarantee unlimited powers to the president, nor does Article 1 guarantee unlimited powers to the legislature, nor does Article 3 guarantee unlimited powers for the judicial branch. So if the federal government wants to take away enumerated powers, federalism, bicameralism, rule of law, elections, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and the 3 branches of government, well, that's not repugnant to the Constitution. That's a revolution that is very much consistent with the Constitution. So if you stay in office past January 20th, 2029, I very much can see the people being in favor of the Constitution versus being against the Constitution. You'd have the constitutionalist, and then you would have the anti-constitutionalist. That breaks the 22nd Amendment. You have 2 terms. You got 4 years to do whatever damage you're going to do, and then you're out, and then that's it. So I got some definitions of words here. Fascism. A fascist is a person who says, you better obey me or else there will be violence. Totalitarianism is when someone brainwashes you so much they even control your mind. A liberal is somebody who has heart, believes in the community, and wants change. They're against the status quo. They're not so much for the individual, and they think more with their minds, especially when it comes to money. Being a bleeding heart liberal, you want to pass all the money out everywhere. That's why I like UBI. I like UBI because that's both Milton Friedman and MLK. And then, of course, neoliberal fucking punk-ass motherfuckers are against the Bill of Rights. They're conservative Democrats who are for endless wars, and they're against the Bill of Rights. As a left libertarian, I am for my individual freedoms, but I also believe that the government should help the poor and the working masses and the homeless, especially when it comes to essential human needs, such as food, water, clothing, shelter. Now, to me, it seems like there's 4 current main ways to resist against tyranny. And if you remember the battle cry of the U.S. Revolution, it's resistance to tyranny is obedience to God.